dare you?
How come when we chillin', everything it feel the same? Feel the same. I just gotta know. How come when I pull up, I'm like, here we go again. Go again. That's why I just gotta know. Why we even different? Why I feel the same anytime we kick it? We just can't get with it. Ain't no fixing. Here we go again with another lie that's told in vain. Avoid the pain, even though we need to say goodbye. Feel the same. So codependent, this hurtin' been open-ended. We just been hoping we ain't have to say it's over-ended. But the wound is open, let it be. You let it be, love it and set it free. But the end of you and me, I thought this new to me, but I just gotta know. How come when we chillin', everything it feel the same? Feel the same. I just gotta know. How come when I pull up, I'm like, here we go again. Go again. That's why I just gotta know. Can you tell me what the deal? I'ma go ahead and tell you how I feel. I just gotta know. Can we keep it real? Lately I'm losing myself. Can you tell me what the deal? I'ma go ahead and tell you how I feel. I just gotta know. Can we keep it real? Lately I'm losing myself. When did we change? When did all the love that we had go away? Yeah. When did we change? When did all the love that we had go away? I just gotta know. Got me in my feelings. Scared I beat to reach the ceiling. And it's not appealing. Thoughts that I ain't trying to do it. Cause I'm feeling like I ain't enough. And I'm terrified I'll never find another you. Never be another us. But why take me ending us? Just get that picture up. I wish it was, but that ain't us. And that was love, but we a different us. I ain't flawless. I'm not to blame for all this. I ain't trying to say that you was. I just know it's time to call it. I just gotta know. Can you tell me what the deal? I'ma go ahead and tell you how I feel. I just gotta know. Can we keep it real? Lately I'm losing myself. Can you tell me what the deal? I'ma go ahead and tell you how I feel. I just gotta know. Can we keep it real? Lately I'm losing myself. When did we change? When did all the love that we had go away? Yeah. When did we change? When did all the love that we had go away? I just gotta know. Why we can't admit we finished. We ain't quitting. Gave it all to us to give it. We done did it. I don't think that we could say it. We became the victims. Lately I've been feeling like I'm losing myself. Can you tell me what the deal? I'ma go ahead and tell you how I feel. I just gotta know. Can we keep it real? Lately I'm losing myself. Can you tell me what the deal? I'ma go ahead and tell you how I feel. I just gotta know. Can we keep it real? Lately I'm losing myself.
Olympic hero Kurt Angle, and you're listening to the We Are Wrestling podcast.
Yo, listen, this is the best wrestler alive, Platinum Max, and you're listening to the We Are Wrestling podcast.
Hey everybody, Eric Bischoff here, and you are listening to We Are Wrestling podcast.
Hello everyone, this is Nunzio, former WWE Cruiserweight Champion, and you're watching We Are Wrestling podcast.
We Are Wrestling podcast. Check them out, man.
Stay tuned, listen to the podcast. Best one, Donnie might teach you a thing or two.
We Are Wrestling. And if you don't listen to it, then it's one-on-one with The Undertaker.
Featuring your hosts, Ted and Donnie. We are wrestling.
What is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. I'm the host with the most, Mr. We Are Wrestling himself, the best one, Donnie, here with...
What is going on? We are Wrestling Maniacs Worldwide. It's Ben, Uncle Ben, America's favorite uncle. Homie, third of the podcast. What's going on, Danny?
What's going on, everybody? Appreciate you guys joining us today. We're going to be talking some news. We're going to be talking some backlash predictions. It's going to be good. What's going on? Donnie, how are you doing, man?
Doing pretty good. And if you guys can't see, we have the brand new We Are Wrestling Championship here at the Best One Studios, and we'll be crowning our first champion after WWE Backlash when we do come back for season 2 of the We Are Wrestling podcast. because in case you guys don't know, we are going to be going into an off season after Backlash, but we'll get into that in just a little bit. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac already and you're listening to this episode, wherever you get your podcast, give us a 5-star review, not just any review, a best one review, and download the episodes and give us a follow. But if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac already, over on the YouTube channel where you could join these live episodes of the We Are Wrestling podcast every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you get the best pro wrestling content. And if you're not a part of the thousands of subscribers, we recommend you to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications. Videos will be coming out of nowhere like an RKO, and of course you already know the grind is real.
So whatever that was.
So a couple things I do want to address before we get into this week's episode. So if you guys didn't check out our pre-recorded episode last week, We Are Wrestling, we made an announcement that we're going to be going into an off season, which means for the next 3 weeks after Backlash, we're going to be taking some time off from the podcast and our regular content that we normally do here on the channel to kind of give ourselves that time to recharge our batteries back to 150%. And during that time, like if big news does come out, we will be doing some YouTube shorts on that. We do have some videos lined up, some Blitzkrieg matches we sponsored. Also, the unboxing of the brand new championship that's in front of me with both of these two gentlemen's reactions. And we do have some little things lined up, so there will still be content, but we're not going to be as active. And it's going to be a little bit more laid back than what you normally get.
Yes, sir, Angelo. We will be live for Backlash.
We will be doing a live watch-along for Backlash, and we also will be doing a live watch-along for AEW Double or Nothing. Because the watch-alongs, like, they're not going to change during the off-season, because the watch-alongs, all you're doing is just really just kicking back, hanging out with you guys, and watching the pay-per-views or PLEs. So that won't change. But we do got lots of Maniacs here in the live chat. We got Justin Murphy, we got Angelo, We Are Wrestling member, Alex Johnson, and James. And the reason there was not a power of the poll this week, Alex, because we figured with Backlash, might as well just restart with the off season. We're going to get back on track with getting put over and all that stuff June 4th, because that's when we'll come back from the off season.
Hopefully by the time we come back, man, we're at 7,000 subs, man.
I'm hoping we're close. We are very, very close.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we're all fucking growing. That's for sure. What's going on, Destry? What's up, Sean? What's up?
And also just another quick reminder too that Saturday, June 14th at the South End Community Center in Springfield, Mass. We Are Wrestling. We're going to be having a table and we're bringing in ECW legend Blue Meanie. If you guys want to meet him, we do have a pre-sale link down in the description box below. But how's your guys' week been?
I'll let you go first, Danny.
Week's been good, man. Been watching a lot of pro wrestling, obviously, you know. Was live for SmackDown, was live for Raw. Bro, is it just me or does Backlash seem like it has a better build and more consistent build than WrestleMania has?
What?
It already feels that way because John Cena's actually there, so the whole fucking recipe is already cooking now. It's not some fucking he said, she said bullshit. We have to wait and see it's actually in motion, so we actually have proper builds going on. So yeah, it does.
Bro, the WrestleMania build this year was fucking ass, bro.
It was ass, but this Backlash one is not that better. We have not had enough time for Backlash, I feel like. I feel like it just like came across us like that.
So did WrestleMania. I mean, but at least with this, we have everybody's getting a build. You know, at least we have like actual storylines going into this one and not some thrown together shit.
I said,
I'll give you that.
I've been saying for a couple of weeks when this whole Pat McAfee and Gunther thing was starting to get going, I was like, people are gonna sleep on this match. People are gonna sleep on this match.
The match is gonna be a banger.
Since the promo on Monday, everybody's praising the fuck out of it now.
Cool, Alex.
I do have some pretty bold predictions for that match that I can't wait to share with you guys.
Sweet.
Because I do think that Backlash is going to be pretty good, even though I do think maybe 2 more weeks worth of build-up could have made this, like, even better. I just don't like that there's not really any, like, WrestleMania things going into this Backlash. Like, it
Yeah, I
just
got
feels
you,
like
man.
it's all new feuds and new starts. Usually Backlash is where, like, we really finish things. Get what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, I got you, man.
All right, well, with
You're not gonna
that
ask
being
how my week was? Okay,
Oh,
Dick.
how
We
was
let
your
Danny fucking
week,
do it?
man? How was your week? I know you had a very you had a very high week, man. I forgot. Wow. Man, I'm already, like, ready for the off season.
Donnie's
I
like, fuck
got
you,
too,
man.
bro.
Let's get over
He's
this.
about to
Let's
just
get
fucking
over with
fire
this.
it. We didn't even hear what your week was like. We didn't hear what my week was like. You're
Oh
about
wow,
to
I
just
did
dive
forget
right
to
in.
tell I forgot to tell people my week too.
Yeah, exactly. What the fuck, man? You just want to jump right in. I mean, I get it, but like, you just wanted to jump right into that shit. Just
You were
wanna
checked out 2
fucking-
weeks ago. I'm checked
Yeah, you're
out this
checked out
week.
today. Yeah, exactly.
Danny's
man.
never checked out.
Yeah, Danny's never checked out. That, like I said, that dude's a well-oiled machine. But my week has been pretty fucking good. Thank you for asking. It's been pretty good. I opened up a store, which, by the way, like I just said, opened up a store. You guys can find it right here at this link that's about to pop up right in your comments. Have a bunch of merch there that's connected to my personal channel, and like it's a bunch of fun stuff. It doesn't really have to do with just what I do. Like, there's a lot of cool things on there. Take a whole look. Like, it means so much for the support. I'm trying to raise something up for my daughter this year for her birthday that's coming up next week. So any kind of thing would be absolutely appreciated. It's really, really sick. So if anything, please take a gander. But I will say the response to that store has been absolutely incredible in the short amount of time it's been open. There's been 22 items sold. I mean, a lot of really cool shit, from hats to shirts to pants to shorts to backpacks to fucking everything, you name it, mugs, windbreakers. It's all there. And the designs go hard as fuck. So definitely give it a look.
I
It's
love the
been
Negan
really great.
design.
Oh, my zombie cat? Yeah,
I
dude,
do.
that's my
I like
that's
that.
my little homie. That's my best friend right there, and I got him on a hat, a mug. I actually got someone that bought a shirt of him, which is gonna be kind of wild, knowing that my cat is in zombie form, living undeadly out there somewhere. So I'll say 100%, dude. It's really cool. Owen, actually, that just popped in. What's up, dude? He actually just bought a shirt. Apparently, that's already shipped and on the way to him. So I'm really, really excited to start throwing photos of, like, the merch out and about while to throw up on the store. So that's gonna be really, 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 really cool.
If you guys
And,
buy
it's been a
something
good week.
from Ben's store, post a photo of it on IG and he'll share it on his social media.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, James, man. Thank you. And like I said, dude, take a look at the store. Like it's really, really cool shit, dude. And I hope you guys really like it.
And
But it's
that's
been
the
a good
thing
week.
too. In our links down in the description box below for all the We Are Wrestling podcast episodes and live watch alongs, we do have all of our personal links to our social media pages and other adventures. So now if you guys do want to go support Ben and get yourself a Rage mug or a Rage shirt or something, it will be in his links down below moving forward. Also, We Are Wrestling, we do have a pro wrestling tee shop as well. So if you guys want to get yourself some We Are Wrestling merch, definitely got to start plugging that more now that you guys are getting into the merch game. Even Danny, you just opened up a pro wrestling tee store, right?
I did. I have one design. You guys can just find it by typing in Danny Huckins PW. I have one design up there now. I have one that's in the process of getting processed, which is fucking fire. It involves a skull and a snake, and I can't wait for you guys to check it out. I think it's really dope.
Oh, is it that teaser that you sent us in the group chat?
Yes, but I reworked it a little bit, so the actual design that's going to be on the shirt's a little bit different. It's going to look sick.
Hey,
and I also have a bonfire store, just like Ben does.
Do you mind if I actually share the store real quick, like on the screen, just
yeah,
so
go right ahead, man.
Like, a quick skim? All right,
Yeah,
guys.
go right
So this is my store called the Rageaholics Warehouse, official merchandise. You guys will find it. I'm actually a verified creator on here. I have a blue check mark next to my name. So, for example, this is the one that's coming in now. It's a windbreaker. This one is going to be my official, like, kind of like leader merch. The back of it has a dope ass fucking designed zombie hyena. Like, it's dope as shit. And like, we have a bunch of different stuff out. Like, we have shirts. This is my actual cat, Negan. Like, it's fucking dope as fuck, dude. My daughter made this whole line for kids. What the fuck would Jesus do with a fucking like AK? Like, that's dope as fuck. We got a bunch of indica and sativa themed stuff. We have more like Halloween gear. This one says 31, has a dope ass skull and fucking ghosts in the background. Like, we got a lot of cool shit here, man. Like, a lot of really cool shit. And it's not even just like clothing. Like, again, we have mugs, we have like little bags, we got fucking bucket hats, sling bags, all that shit, hoodies.
Yeah, Angelo. His cat's name is Negan.
Yep. Yeah, dude.
Walking Dead.
But yep, this is the Rageaholics Warehouse. So if you guys feel like it, come take a look. All right. Let me stop sharing the screen. Thank you.
All right. Well, guys, now I can talk about my week. And
How was your
I
week?
got to say, my week has been pretty solid. Been getting a lot of stuff done. Feeling very productive, especially getting ready for the off season to really catch up on like a lot of my toy stuff, because with WrestleMania haven't really been going as hard. But one thing that I've been doing a lot of is YouTube Shorts over on the toy channel, trying some new things out, trying to spread my wings, learn how to fly. So
yeah.
very excited for what's to come, and really excited that we finally got our championship in the mail.
Dude, it's beautiful.
Very happy about that. All right, well, with that being said, guys, let's get into the things that we're going to be talking about this week here on the We Are Wrestling podcast, episode 159. And starting things off, everybody's talking about this. Very negative reactions to this. There's reports that Alberto Del Rio will be part of the WWE/AAA relationship. WWE didn't give Alberto Del Rio a contract. In actuality, WWE is likely assuming responsibility for the contract that Alberto signed with AAA last year. What's your thoughts on WWE working with Alberto moving forward?
As long as he doesn't show up on main roster or anywhere near Paige when she eventually comes back, I think we're fine. But who is really gonna be stoked to see him other than obviously like the Mexican audience, which is, obviously he's a big name out there, but like other than that, like who in their right mind knowing what we know is gonna be hyped to see that dude in a WWE ring? Nobody. Big dub on AAA, big L on Alberto Del Rio. That's all I'll say.
What's your thoughts on this, Danny?
Yeah, I talked about it on my Monday stream, and I made a YouTube short about it on my channel. I don't think he necessarily signed with WWE. I feel like because obviously WWE acquired AAA, they had to have all their talent re-sign a new contract under the WWE banner because AAA is now acquired by them. So I don't think he's like it's not like he's a WWE superstar. He's still in AAA. And as far as I know, he's the AAA World Champion still. But hopefully it doesn't go any further than that. It doesn't need to go any further than that. But I do feel like there's a huge portion of the audience or whatever that's just looking too much into this.
I do agree with you on that. 1000%. We all know, Daddy, that Royal Rumble you went to back in 2011. You loved when Alberto Del Rio won.
Must you remind me?
Must you remind me?
Jackass.
My thoughts on Alberto
Do you know
Del
how
Rio.
wild it is seeing fucking like 15 to 20 people from Boston drunk, mad on the fucking Metro that Alberto Del Rio won the fucking Rumble? That's an experience, man. Everybody knows how crazy Boston people are.
Oh, dude, that is a very big experience.
That was the first 40-man and the only 40-man Rumble that they had.
They realized it was a mistake right away.
Yep.
I was excited about that during the time, but looking back, not really. But I will say this, my thoughts on Alberto Del Rio. I think the reason WWE is going to move forward with him, because one, he's not going to be showing up on Raw or SmackDown or anything like WWE television like related. I think they're only going to keep him with AAA because he's already a notable name all over Mexico, and he does have some accolades from his time in WWE. So they'll probably have him put over some of the talent that haven't been on WWE TV, like Vikingo and other luchadors that they probably have. But I don't think that this is a good move. I think WWE, they should have just cut ties with him, just pay out the contract, move on, because I do think that with all these releases that we're going to be talking about in just a moment, definitely not a good look for WWE keeping Del Rio, especially with some of the fucked up shit that he did, especially during his relationship with Paige.
And especially recently.
Oh, very recently with kidnapping.
Hey, what up, Charlotte?
All right, well, we might as well talk about it before we get into the Backlash predictions. There was massive WWE cuts that happened over the weekend, And I do have a slideshow here, so I figured we could talk about the wrestler and our thoughts on them getting released. Do we think it's a good move, bad move, and where do we see them going moving forward? Here we go. Starting things off, we have Cora Jade.
She's already opening an OnlyFans, dude. She's gonna be fine. She's gonna be fine. Like, I'm not even like trying to be that guy. Like, yeah, she's gonna be fine, dude.
Let us know in the live chat what your guys' thoughts are as well on the releases.
Me personally, I gotta go with Owen. This was a bad release, but apparently, like, everybody's saying that she's, prone to injury and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So that might have played a part in her release from WWE. But like, she was just in a feud. She was just teaming up with like Roxanne Perez or somebody, like going up against Stephanie Vacker and Julia a couple of months ago, whatever, and had some banger matches and main event and PLEs, stuff like that. So it's kind of wild, like how quick this business goes, because like you can 1 minute you're main eventing on PLE, the next minute you're fired or whatever. So it's just weird to me. I mean, she's still young too. She's only like 22, 23 years old. So I thought they would have given her a little bit more time to develop, because I mean, she wasn't like somebody that they kept off TV. She was, a pretty regular, name on NXT on a weekly basis, or whatever. So this one's just a little puzzling.
Going to Charlotte. Yeah, dude, I get it, dude.
Yeah, no, with Cora Jade. So it looks like James says here that Cora Jade already announced that she's going to the Indies. Not surprised by that. I do think this one definitely did catch me off guard a little bit, because they were using her a lot with that working relationship with TNA and NXT. And I guess apparently there was some drama going on with Cora Jade, because I guess she was talking about, because I guess there's reports that a lot of these people that got released, they weren't training as much at the Performance Center. Like they were spending more time outside the Performance Center than inside it. And I guess Cora Jade said didn't throw a name out there, but said like she was body shamed, and there was like some drama going on at the PC, which is why she preferred to train outside of it, which she thinks factored into her release. But I do think that she is
go ahead.
But I was going to say, I think that she is going to be just fine. She's very young, very talented. I think the injuries also didn't help either, having ACL tears, because that's a long time recovery. I do see her definitely going to TNA, 1000%. Indies first, then go to TNA.
Yep. I've always felt like, and I know like there have been a lot of people, whatever, that get released from WWE because they're like injury prone. I think that's a horrible way to look at things, because like, I mean, anybody, and if you step in the foot in a pro wrestling ring, bro, like one wrong move, you can get injured. You know what I mean?
Bro,
so I wouldn't hold that against anybody.
I wouldn't hold it against anybody either, considering look at Nikita Lyons. She's fucking notorious for being injury prone and never on fucking screen, but they didn't release her.
She's been dodging bullets.
And yeah, because I guarantee Booker T and Shawn Michaels like, yeah, you got talent, but they know that she has a lot of assets.
Yucky, quick.
But apparently Cora Jade, I don't know if you have it pulled up or whatever. She posted something on Twitter, and she was like, she would train like 4 or 5 days a week or whatever at the PC, and like, she went on this whole tangent about like how like she was mistreated and body shamed, and how she did train. People are saying that she didn't train or whatever, but her body says otherwise, and stuff like that. Cora Jade is actually Braun Breaker's ex.
Yep, I do know that. But obviously when it comes to all these releases, like we all do wish them nothing but the absolute best in their future endeavors. And I do think Cora Jade's going to be fine. Moving on to the next release talent, we have Gigi Dolan.
I think she's another one that's also opening an OnlyFans as well, so she'll be all right. A lot of these ex-WWE females, man, like they are going straight to it. Like I see it all the time.
Mandy Rose, man, she really opened that door for a lot of these female wrestlers.
That's because Mandy Rose made like in 1 month she made like over $1 million.
I thought it was like 5 or 10 million she made.
It was when she first opened it, like the first month she made a little over $1 million.
You know what's crazy?
But, I mean,
you know what's crazy though? is she's not even fucking on OnlyFans. She's just getting naked in the shower and stuff and messing around. I'm like, dude, she making millions? Like, good for
And
her.
also
Good for
too,
her.
something to add to Mandy Rose. Like, she's also been very successful starting off her podcast and getting endorsement deals and just really marketing herself outside of pro wrestling. And I think that a lot of these females, they're seeing that and
Man,
like
if
they're gonna
there
be
is
fine.
one thing that is for sure, and this isn't like a slight, there is a lot of people that are in that industry, but one thing is for sure is sex sells, and it absolutely does. And
That's why it
Mandy
was so
Rose is a
prominent.
prime example of the success that comes with it. Someone who's killing it right now, Lacey Evans, she got released, and she's fucking killing it on that shit right now. So it's, it's true.
People wonder why you like the women back in the Attitude Era and even like the early Ruthless Aggression Era, like why they were so provocative and wet T-shirt contests and this and that because
An ex WWE superstar, that's money. That's money right there because there's like fucking pro wrestling fans are some of the weirdest motherfuckers on the planet.
Weirdest
And
fucking people. You got that right.
they'll fucking put out their whole ass house up for mortgage again for that shit. So yeah,
bro, did you hear somebody did that? They thought they were talking to Liv Morgan or Alexa Bliss on Instagram, and this person said that they needed money. So this person legitimately put up their house for sale and transferred the money over to this fake Liv Morgan.
Alex Johnson,
was that you?
Are you up to something? You had to say. I love you, Alex Johnson. But
That's
real
fun.
quick, before I do give my thoughts on this, nice little comment here from Chris. Please like, support, subscribe, send super chats, gift memberships for We Are Wrestling YouTube channel. Everyone, shout out to Donnie, Danny, Rage, incredible pro wrestling content, creators, fans, people. Absolutely love that, Chris.
Appreciate it. And buy shit. And buy shit at that link right underneath.
And go to our pro wrestling tees and send us super chats and all that good stuff if you want to.
Yeah.
Buy my merch.
But Gigi Dolan, I 100% think that she's going to TNA, and I think that because she's married to Zachary Wentz. So I mean, that's easy,
Really? Oh, 1000%. And I think like we're gonna see a lot of these.
Darby Allin too. She told this interesting story to where I don't know if I can say it on here.
Okay, you could just cut it off at Darby Allin. Continue. Can you continue, Don?
Okay, so what I was gonna say was, it's obvious. I think a lot of these female wrestlers that got released, I definitely see going to TNA because they seem like they're going in a rebuild with their knockouts division. And I do think that Gigi Dolan, perfect fit. She already had a short stint with AEW before signing with WWE. Didn't work out, so I don't see her going back there. I think it just makes the most sense for her to go to TNA because she does have that television experience. So I definitely see that happening. It's unfortunate because I loved the original Toxic Attraction with Gigi, JC, and Mandy. And like, I thought that act could have made millions of dollars for WWE on the main roster.
I forgot about them.
Unfortunately, with Mandy leaving, Gigi kind of got lost in the shuffle there. And I do think that she'll be fine.
And then they tried to recreate it with fucking Fatal Influence. It was literally the same gimmick, just different name.
They tried, but like when you try something the first time, it just like you're not gonna be able to reenact like what was great.
And Toxic Attraction was a pretty fucking successful stable too, right? In TNA and NXT, rather, they were fucking killing it.
Toxic Attraction was a lot different than Beautiful People.
Agree.
I feel like.
Boom. Got it, Owen.
All right, moving on to the next talent we have here, Eddie Thorpe. Ben's favorite wrestler.
This is where I'm going to exclude myself from this conversation because I literally know none of these people until we get to Braun Strowman. So talk amongst yourselves. I'll chill. I'll give you moral support.
Eddie Thorpe is a guy who I think he went to the New Japan dojo, whatever. Has been pro wrestling for about 10 years now. And I don't know exactly when he was brought to NXT or whatever, but his ceiling was extremely small. It just like, he was in a lot of high profile matches over the last couple of months or whatever, but he just never could like reach that, that main event, tier. Like nobody looked at Eddie Thorpe like he was gonna, moved to like Raw or SmackDown. Like, could you imagine Eddie Thorpe, the new WWE? Like, his ceiling was extremely fucking small, and he was just horrible at promos.
I will say this. I was never a fan of Eddie Thorpe. I tried getting invested in him. I do think they did a good job like the last couple of months. Like when he pushed Shawn Michaels, got like confrontational with him. Like he was doing some pretty good stuff, but like I don't know, the character work, I just couldn't get invested as a fan. And I tried to because I know this is their dream. This is what they want to do. They want to be those larger than life superstars. So I really try to get invested in these younger stars. Just Eddie, I tried and I just couldn't. But especially with him training in New Japan, like the dojo and stuff, like I could see him doing stuff probably outside of there. And maybe there's something that he hasn't shown us yet. And that's sometimes the cool thing about these releases. You never really know like what to expect from certain people. But moving on to the next person we have here, Jakara Jackson. She was a part of Meta 4. What's your thoughts?
Yeah,
on this,
she was a tag team partner with Lash Legend. Made a couple appearances. She even had a PLE match on one of the PLEs a couple months ago. Teaming with Lash Legend.
My God.
And like this one kind of baffles me. Not that I'm a huge, Jakar Jackson fan or whatever, but like,
during the Rumble, me and Ben were.
WWE is in desperate need of some women tag teams.
I'll see
but
you, Ben.
every women tag team that they have, they end up fucking getting rid of one half of it. You know what I mean?
Oh my, because they knew Lash Legend had enough for both of them.
It just does not make any sense. WWE's women tag team division is the fucking like I've never seen anything like it, bro.
I don't understand.
So horrendously bad.
Like they want to form these tag teams and then they get rid of one half of them. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like now Lash Legend's probably going to get lost in the shuffle because during her NXT run, she was teaming up with Jakara. Like, I don't know how I feel about this. I don't like this one. I think that she definitely could have been successful in WWE.
Yeah, they just didn't give her the opportunity.
And I could see TNA. I could see because everybody's going to TNA. I could see her going to AEW possibly.
I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But I just WWE. They brought in the tag team titles for the women years ago, whatever, and I don't think they've ever had one legit tag team hold the fucking things. Like they're just sort of fucking there.
But she definitely did have a lot of potential, and I do hope that she does continue pro wrestling because she was somebody that I was actually very invested in.
Yeah.
But moving on now to our next release guy. He was a part of the Meta 4. I'm gonna let you say his name, Danny.
Ora Mensa.
This
guy I'm not that familiar with or whatever. I don't watch NXT on a weekly basis. It's not like, NXT, it's Tuesday, NXT is on, gotta watch it. It's not like that. I don't know much about
every
his
damn week.
Or I don't know if anybody else in the chat wants to chime in or whatever, but I'm not that familiar with his accolades and what he's done and stuff like that. He has a good look.
I hate to say this about him because I'm sure he's very talented. The only thing that I know is he teams up with Noam Dar. That's all I know.
Noam Dar. I hardly know who the fuck that guy is.
I know who he is. He did a lot in the indies. But this guy, wish him nothing but the best. Don't really know much, so I can't really give my thoughts on it.
He has a good look. I just it's puzzling to me. They have
looks like a lot of the Maniacs here. Alex, Aya, and Owen, they're all saying Independence is probably where he'll be. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Moving on, we do have part of Chase U, Riley Osborne.
Again, this is another guy that I don't watch on I don't watch NXT or whatever. And I was never a big fan of Chase U, I liked when they got fucking destroyed by fucking the dude that fucking broke Big E's neck, but
Ridge Holland.
Yeah, Ridge Holland fucking absolutely destroyed them and fucking broke single-handedly broke up fucking Chase U. I like
I know,
that.
and now unfortunately, Finley's kid there, Brogdon Finley, is part of the new Chase U. I hope it
Oh,
works out for him.
he's on fucking NXT
Yep,
now.
he's been doing some vignettes with Chase U.
Really?
I guess he's like teaming with some other guy. I don't know his name exactly. If anybody knows in the chat, let us know. But I did see him in the latest vignette for Andre Chase. They're like trying to reinvent Chase U, and I think more like a serious run.
Riley Osborne and Blair Davenport are engaged. I didn't know that. Blair Davenport's like she wasn't in like this round of releases or whatever, but that's another one that was puzzling. Like she got called up from NXT to the main roster, and she made like 2 appearances, and then fucking like 6 months later, they just were like, "Yeah, we don't have nothing for you. Bye." Well, why the fuck do you call them up if you have nothing for them to do?
I'm gonna keep this one short and sweet. Riley Osborne, I thought he had a lot of potential. I actually enjoyed a lot of the stuff that he was doing in TNA, a part of the working relationship. And I could definitely see him being a part of the X division because he is a pretty good high flyer. And he has a decent look to him.
As long as he's willing to fucking catch Leon Slater, that was a fucking
yeah. Yeah, that was a crazy bump. But moving on now, we do have Braun Breaker's girlfriend here, Danny Palmer.
Again, I've never seen her wrestle, so I have no.
Well, you're never going to see her wrestle again because she did post on social media that she's retiring from professional wrestling.
You know why? Because her husband or boyfriend, whatever, is making fucking that main roster money. So why she got to fucking wrestle? You know what I mean?
Danny
as long
said
as she keeps giving out, he's gonna pay the mortgage.
Danny said it, not me. Moving on, we have here. You could say his name. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Javier Bernal, I think.
Bernthal, whatever the fuck his name is. Again, I don't know him.
I don't know either. So moving on to the next one we have here is Gallus.
Look at those little boners at the end of his fucking mustache.
Gallus. I'll tell you something about Gallus, bro.
Other than the fact that he got some fucking straight up cocks at the end of that fucking handlebar.
They were very underrated. They were a very underrated tag team.
Look at that thing. He probably rolls his. Never mind. Let me not say that.
Have you seen Gallus wrestle? They were a great tag team. Like they were a great team.
They actually trained The Rock for his WrestleMania 40 match.
Oh.
Like they were fucking awesome, man.
They're so awesome they got released. Damn.
Well, I mean,
I really don't.
Guess who else got released? That was awesome. Bray Wyatt. So I don't really look at the releases as as much.
I feel like that's another discussion for another time though.
They can release anybody.
His shit was different. His shit was different.
But I will say with Gallus, though, I was surprised because they were regulars on NXT TV. So that kind of threw me off a little bit. But I do think we'll see them in the UK scene.
And again, you figure with WWE having the worst tag team division on the fucking planet, you would assume that they would bring up more tag teams to broaden the horizon of the tag team division to have more of a diverse roster.
Wait, you guys have tag teams?
We have 4.
We have 4 tag teams. If that, I can't even really name them.
I don't even know if you can call that a division. That's just like a fatal 4-way.
That's just a club. It's just a club. It's just a club at that point.
All right, well, Ben, you can get back in the discussion now because moving on, we do have some WWE main roster people that were released. And starting things off here, we have Shayna Baszler.
That one's a damn shame. That one is a damn shame. They fucking took what was supposed to be the high fucking time of her career and they buried her for fucking Ronda Rousey. Fucking nah, dude. Like, I'm so pissed off about Shayna. So pissed off. I will 100% say out of everybody on this fucking list that got released, Shayna Baszler deserved way better.
I will say this though, before you give your thoughts on Danny on this. I will say there was reports actually from multiple sources out there that Shayna Baszler, she was helping out a lot in NXT over at the PC.
She was at. I heard.
So there's a lot of people, I guess, in NXT that were very surprised by the announcement.
I heard a report. I want to say like the night or the day after it got announced that she got released or whatever. That Tuesday, she was at NXT. She was helping train some of. I don't know if she was like doing stuff with like just trainees, or if she was just there like helping out like behind the scenes at the show or whatever. Shayna Baszler, bro, she was a fucking absolute monster when she was in
In
NXT Black and
NXT?
Gold.
Oh yeah, dude.
And that shit just
Beast.
for whatever reason, Vince McMahon got his hands on her, and just dead shit did not translate over to the main roster. I don't understand. Like that fucking downfall needs to be fucking studied, bro.
It does. I agree.
It really does, because like with NXT, like they really built her up like a fucking
Bro, I
badass.
remember she used to come out, have a 3-minute match, choke the fuck out of somebody, and then retain the title, and then fucking just walk away. Like she was a fucking absolute monster in NXT, and then Vince McMahon called her up and just started jobbing
Put a
her out
halt
right
to her
up.
fucking momentum. Ended it. Killed it. Murdered it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of people here are saying, seems like everybody here is disappointed about this. I got to agree with the Maniacs.
I
on
feel
this
like
one,
her release had to do with
1000%.
her age, because she was like 40. She's 45. I didn't
They
realize
did.
how old
I
she was.
did read something. I don't know which source said something about it, but the age thing was a reason why a lot of these people did get cut. Too.
But yeah, you have fucking Randy Orton and John Cena, who are both close in their 50s.
Oh
bro,
no,
man.
you can't. No, they're in a different category, Randy and
He's
Cena.
already
I'm just
established
saying, bro,
legend.
like,
But I
I'm
get
just
the reference
saying.
you're trying to make.
I'm just saying, bro, like, I don't, if somebody can still go, I don't feel like they should be fired because they're at a certain age. Like, that's a Vince McMahon move.
Oh my god, you're right. Shayna Baszler's 44. What the fuck?
But
I
I
would
mean,
never
she
have
could
thought.
still
Moves like
go,
she's
bro.
fucking 20.
She does not look like she's that old. You know what I
At
mean?
all.
So, like,
At
all.
all.
her getting released because of her age, if that's the reason, I mean, that's fucked up, bro.
It is
Like,
fucked up.
That's like a
And
Vince
it's
McMahon
unfortunate
move.
too, because like a lot of these releases, like I understand like the talent have to find a way to get themselves over, but like when you're given like shitty creative, sometimes it is hard to really get out of it. Like with Shayna Baszler, she was a fucking beast in NXT, and then she gets called up to the main roster, gets lost in the shuffle, and because it was the same thing over and over again, like they did have the opportunity to get her over again when she beat Ronda Rousey, but then they just randomly paired her up with Zoe Starks and Sonya.
And by
she
the
just got
time,
lost in the shuffle.
and by the time Vince McMahon got taken out of power, and Triple H got put in, like, it was pretty much too far gone at that point. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, so one thing I will say, I definitely see her doing a lot of shit for GCW.
I see her doing Bloodsport. She seems to like that. And every WrestleMania season, she would fucking do that shit whenever they would be in like a certain city or whatever.
Yeah, I think like we're gonna see her definitely there, or possibly too, if AEW, because I know there's I think Sean Ross Sapp, he's been trying to push this. He wants AEW to have a tag team division for their women. And they could always pair Shayna Baszler up with Marina Shafir. And she could join Death Riders.
You could, but Tony Khan needs to get out of this habit of fucking booking somebody one week and then keeping them off TV the next 6 months.
Yeah, that is true. But moving on to one of the
Deanna
bigger
Prazo?
names that were released here, Braun Strowman.
This one doesn't matter. Yeah, he was released, but the only reason he was released is because he has 15% paralysis in his left fucking leg, but they're bringing him back to work 4 months at a time in intervals because his salary was too high, but they have no plans to release him.
Yeah.
He's going to help build with storylines and everything, and he's still very much getting the bag, and he's still part of WWE. So, and he'll be able to work indies and everything because he's not on a full-time, like, actual WWE contract, which is why they released him. Yeah, so he's gonna make fucking. He's gonna make money. So indies and WWE.
I did out of all the releases, I did find this one the most puzzling, or whatever, because I mean he legit he helped make. Yeah, Jacob Fatu was a star or whatever, but he made Jacob Fatu into, I feel like, a bigger monster than what he would have been. You know what I mean?
Also, Bronson Reed. Don't forget that too.
Yeah, Bronson Reed too. You know what I mean? I don't know. I knew something was up, but when I read that report from Bill Apter today, I'm fine with it, man. I'm fine with it. Being as big and just not big, but like tall and like on top of having like all that weight and muscle, whatever, in your joints and shit, and like doing something physical like being a pro wrestler, like that shit takes a toll, man. I don't give a fuck. People can look at pro wrestling, oh, it's fake bullshit, this and that. Like, bro, like people have no fucking clue.
I'm Angelo here. So you're saying he's gonna come back, or I don't understand.
He's coming back.
So basically, he's coming back. He's going to be working lesser dates for WWE, but he's not going to be getting paid like he was when he re-signed.
He's
with the
going to be on
promotion
sort of like a
couple years
paid
ago.
per appearance deal kind of thing or whatever. Yeah.
Precisely.
Which means like he's going to be able to work wherever he wants. It's probably not television, so like he's probably not. You're not going to see him in AEW, but he'll be able to go to GCW, other big independent companies. Probably be doing a lot of wrestling conventions and Comic Cons.
Yeah, I don't.
Because he does have a name to himself, so he's going to make a lot of money doing that too.
With his paralysis or whatever, like I don't know if he's gonna be wrestling outside of WWE or if he's just gonna be doing like appearances. Because I feel like if he's still gonna be in like put in storylines and wrestling for WWE, you know, he's gonna want to just have that be his wrestling stuff. And then does like autograph signing, just meet and greets and conventions, stuff like that outside.
We'll have to wait and see.
Acting. That's also a possibility too, from what I'm reading here. But moving on, we do have a WWE Women's Tag Team that got released. Katana and Kaden Carter.
Where they were making some really good noise. I mean, it wasn't big enough. It's just one of those things where it's, you know, you got to make your cuts, and it's unfortunate that it was a whole ass tag team because they're an actual established tag team, something WWE doesn't have. So it is kind of a shame, but at the same time, I mean, one of them outshined the other. I don't know. If they weren't called up, there was an issue there. They never really had an opportunity, you know, so maybe they can make it somewhere else.
Yeah, this is another one that's puzzling because, like, you know, for the reasons I said before when we were talking about Jakara Jackson, like, you know, WWE, like, they have tag titles, but they don't have a fucking tag team division for those, you know, on the women's side. And then you have, you know, one of the only legit tag teams, you fucking decide to release them. Like, have you seen Kaden Carter and Katana Chance, like, on NXT? Like, they were, like, one of the best tag teams of their era and when they were in NXT before they got called up.
Well, that was a good era with tag teams for the women.
They got pushed really good like the first couple of weeks, and then they just sort of got taken off TV and just put in limbo. Like they didn't know quite where to put them or whatever. So I don't know. And like I didn't think who was it? Katana. It was either Kaden or Katana. I can't remember. One of them is like dating or engaged to Damian Priest or whatever. So
I think that's Kaden Carter.
It's the one with like the long dreads or whatever.
Yep.
You know, Carter. I didn't think they were gonna release her because, you know, usually if you're in a relationship with somebody that's very big in the company, you know, it's sort of job security.
I will say this though. I enjoyed what they did in the ring. I like that they were a natural tag team, but it just seemed like they couldn't connect with the WWE universe. Like they weren't like I went to WWE Raw taping in Hartford, and they did have a tag match, and out of all the matches on the card, out of all the reactions, people coming out to the ring, like they definitely got the quietest reaction. And I think like they definitely weren't ready for the main roster, but I do think they will probably go to TNA because they have a women's tag team division. And I think that they'll be fine. They'll be fine. They're talented.
I think they will too, but like
but they do need to get some more. I think they need to get there. They need to do more. Like they need to
not getting any kind of reaction from the WWE audience is nothing new. You know what I mean? Because like why would people react if you're not showcased on TV on a regular basis? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look at Motor City Machine Guns. The first couple of months that Motor City Machine Guns were in WWE, they got little to no reaction. People didn't know who the fuck they were because I've been saying this for a long time.
Yeah, but Kaden and Katana, they were just, I don't know. They were just typical. Like they had
a great look.
Like
they had a great entrance. I liked when they came out with like the fucking fire cannons or whatever, and like they did that whole dance or whatever. Like that is pretty much what WWE has been built upon. Like
yeah, but their promo work was fucking.
I mean, Io Sky can hardly talk English, and she's the women's world champion. So, like,
she really cuts a better promo than them, and that's sad.
I don't know.
But moving on now to probably the biggest name that's on the release sheet here that a lot of people are surprised by, Dakota Kai.
When was she really ever relevant? Other than just damage control in the beginning, and then even then she faded off because she got injury prone.
I like Dakota. Pretty big.
I like Dakota. I like her, as a person. I like her as, an on-screen character. I couldn't really say much for like in-ring. I can't, but just because I like somebody doesn't mean, they're, I don't want to use the term worth, but that they're 100%. I'm going to pull the Paul Heyman, that they're good enough for it, that they're cut up for it. And she's really, if you compare her to a lot of the women that are on the roster, Dakota Kai is a very small fish in a rather large pond, man. She's got a good name for damage control. She had a great look. She's fucking beautiful. She's very relatable in real life. And again, just because I like somebody does not mean that they're cut out for something that is thriving. And she just happened to fall under that. And it's unfortunate, but with the right work, the right revamp, the right training outside, and if she really wants to come back, she will. But for right now, it's justifiable. She didn't have anything big going on for her, and they couldn't really find like filler stuff for her anymore, And did they want to move in a new direction, and just where she is at right now in her career, she couldn't add to that. So that's all I got.
What's your thoughts on this, Danny?
A little puzzling, because I never look. Like I was saying earlier, I don't look at somebody if they're injury prone or whatever, because the minute you step through those ropes, anything can happen and anybody can get injured at any point. I mean, look at Buddy Matthews, he did his entrance like always, but he ended up fucking, twisting up his ankle, you know what I mean, at when they were in Australia a couple months ago. So I don't look at if somebody's injury prone. I don't think that's fair, because anything can happen at any time.
Okay.
I think she's gonna make a lot of money outside of WWE just because she got that name value, So
that is true. And I do think that with Dakota Kai, I think out of all the names that are here, I think that she is gonna see the most success outside of WWE, because I think that she definitely has the talent, she definitely has the drive. Because even when they weren't using her, she was going on Twitch, she was going on social media, campaigning to get more TV time. And she was somebody that always put in the extra miles. And if you do that, especially outside of WWE, you're going to be very successful. I know there's a lot of people saying that they could see her going to TNA. They could see her going to Stardom, doing some stuff with New Japan Pro Wrestling. AEW is always an option. I think that Dakota Kai, wherever she lands, she's going to do just fine. Very talented. I didn't understand the release because she did go against Lyra Valkyria for the Intercontinental Championship. And I thought that she was going to be a well-established mid-card star on the main roster. But I guess they have other plans. And I do think that she's going to be just fine.
I'm going to go on a limb and say 100%. I don't want her going in any big thing. I want her to focus on the indies. But I also want her to make her migration into acting for video games and being mocapped and working on story-driven things. Because her promo work's fine. Her talking work is fine. She's fucking gorgeous, one. She's got a speaker's voice. Her face belongs on television or games in some capacity. And she's such a big fan of video games that I think she would do so fucking well. And just if she were to ever attach herself to a massive project and then come back to wrestling on bigger stages, that would give her credibility and just well-known awareness and renown alone, that people that were not watching wrestling would 100% jump on board and bring her viewership wherever she got.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I will say, out of all the promotions, I kind of
Angela.
want to see her do stuff for Stardom. I think that would be a really cool way to kind of reinvent herself, and maybe gets the call back with WWE eventually.
I would love her to go.
Different perspective. So something that nobody ever talks, She
has a video game podcast with Zelina Vega, which is interesting. You should check it out. But I want her to go somewhere other than AEW. I don't want anybody on this list to go to AEW. So as long as they don't go to AEW, I'm happy.
Go there.
Huh?
I don't know if you guys saw that on CM Punk's story. He put over Cora Jade and he says to her, "Please don't go to TK." I thought that was funny. But our last person we have here, she didn't get released, but they did tell her that they're not going to be renewing her contract, and that is Shotzi Blackheart.
So again, just because I like somebody does not mean that they're cut out for it. Shotzi is she'd be a great manager. She'd be a great, something for WWE, but not in terms of in-ring. She could do something great in the movie. She could do something great in TV. I don't think she's a great fucking wrestler, man. I really don't. I think she's very stiff. I think she's just very nervous in the ring. Like I know that she's gonna keep wrestling. She's stoked to wrestle longer, and I know that she can do a lot. She's tough, but at the end of the day, just because I like somebody doesn't mean I have to praise their work when I don't really see a lot in it, So I hope wherever she goes, she's happy.
Ooh, before you give your thoughts, Danny, on this, before I forget this, I also want to praise the fact that less than 24 hours after she got married, she went to a WWE house show and wrestled in her friggin' wedding dress. Insane.
Love
That's
that.
awesome. I watched her and her husband have a YouTube channel, and they vlog or whatever. So I've been watching quite a few of their videos. Very entertaining. You know what I would like? This is gonna be so out of the realm of stuff that I normally talk about. But if there's one thing I would love Shotzi to do, and I think she'd be phenomenal at it, is having her own ghost hunting show, whatever, on actual TV, because she had that WWE exclusive show with Scarlett that they would do every Halloween or whatever, going to haunted places and stuff like that. I that seems right up Shotzi alley. I think she'd be really successful at that. And she on the side, she can wrestle and do certain dates, whatever, on the indies or whatever. That way she'll be able to still get her reps in. But I mean, she's a big enough name to where I feel like if she could call up any agency and she could just get her own show, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I could definitely see that. And that's the cool thing about a lot of these stars that exit WWE. It's not over for them. They have so many different roads that they can go on and be very successful. With Shotzi, I was never the biggest fan of her work, but I've always respected her drive. And she definitely seems like a very down-to-earth person. And I do wish her nothing but the absolute best. And I feel like if there is somebody that I could definitely see going to AEW or especially TNA, it's Shotzi, 1000%. She definitely fits that big company outside of WWE.
Yeah.
But like I said earlier, we wish all of these superstars nothing but the absolute best. We Are Wrestling. We're going to continue to follow their careers, and hopefully we get the opportunity to meet them and possibly maybe get them on the podcast sometime. But very talented individuals, and it's just a part of the business. And that's the thing. A lot of people want to give WWE shit for these releases. I could understand certain ones maybe a few years ago when Triple H wasn't running things. But I do think that sometimes getting released is the best thing for an individual.
I mean, look at all the people
that some very successful stories here.
Look at all the people that got released and came back bigger stars. Cody Rhodes left, fucking Drew McIntyre left. Made himself into a household name or whatever. Just because you get released from WWE doesn't mean that's the end of your career in WWE. So, yeah.
All right, well, I think everybody is ready for some WWE Backlash predictions. And that is what we're going to do here. So we do want to give you guys a quick little recap here because we do have something new, which is right here. We have the We Are Wrestling Championship, brand new title, and we're going to be crowning the first champion after the Backlash predictions. And as of right now, because we are counting our WrestleMania predictions, here is the scoreboard. Danny is leading with 10 predictions correct, while Ben is in second place with 9, and I'm in third place with 8. So, after our predictions here for WWE Backlash, whoever has the most points will be the first ever We Are Wrestling champion. I'm not used to it. I'm not used to saying We Are Wrestling, but yep, we'll be giving the championship will be in whoever's possession on the first episode when we come back from the off season, which will be on Wednesday, June 4th. All right. So the way we like to do these predictions, we like to talk about the build-up. We like to go through each match, analyze it, talk about the thoughts on the build-up, And we have to pick a winner. So let's talk about the build up to Backlash. What was your guys' thoughts on it?
Better than Mania, but still lukewarm at its finest.
I've had a fun time like watching how they build the show. I know a lot of people aren't like that big of a fan of it. But I do think it's a lot better than Mania. Mania being their biggest show, I feel like they pretty much dropped the ball on a lot of, the stories and a lot of like the booking decisions. Like a lot of the matches didn't really make much sense as to why they were on the fucking show. And like each match on this card, even though it's a B-level pay-per-view or PLE, I feel like each match on this card fits. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to seeing the show, man. Saturday is going to be big.
I do think that the show is going to be better than the build-up. I think that WWE definitely has to have some surprises here. And like I will get into those like when we go through each of the matches. I do think that they are lacking some star power. I do feel like Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker should be on this card, especially because like we had that big turn with Paul Heyman, and I feel like that should be like in a PLE match. I'm surprised to not see Jey Uso on the card because I know he did just defend the championship against Rollins on Raw. And I know him and Logan are kind of feuding right now. Maybe we get a segment there, which I would like because it could further the rivalry. I do think each match does make sense, and I do think that they got some surprises. They have to, but this whole show is definitely built up for the main event. Of course, John Cena, Randy Orton, one last time. One of the most legendary rivalries of our era growing up.
Bro, it's gonna be like I'm 16 again, man.
All right, well, we might as well get into the matches. So, starting things off here, we have for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship, Lyra Valkyria will be defending her title against the returning Becky Lynch.
I really don't give a fuck about this match at all. It's just who's the better fucking Irish at this point and who can stay more relevant. I mean, I hope, because again, it's fucking Becky Lynch. I hope that she puts over Lyra. Lyra needs it. She's becoming a more prominent star. They put a lot of stock into her, and then have Becky Lynch take it would just be fucking stupid. Like this is just to add credibility and some prestige to the IC title and also Lyra's reign and making her look huge because Becky's not going to be around forever. She's in the twilight of her career currently. Like she's at the end of it. The prime is over. When she became Becky Two Belts, that was it. Like that was it. That was like the peak. Now we're in the era where she's gonna have to put people over.
He said she reached her ceiling.
She did. She did. Like, yeah, that was it. After Becky Two Belts and Big Time Bex, that was it, man. Like, she can't go anywhere else. At least not in WWE, but I don't see her going anywhere else and in terms of the professional wrestling setting. But to have her win would be dumb. And this is again all credibility for Lyra Valkyria. So yeah.
What's your thoughts on this, Danny?
At first I didn't like the feud, and then this past week on Raw changed my mind. I finally feel like Lyra has some depth, some character in her. And I mean, she held her own against Becky Lynch on the mic or whatever. And then when they had that brawl, I do feel like Becky Lynch is going to end up taking the title from Lyra. Lyra, she's good, but she hasn't really done much with the title, So why keep the title on her if she's not going to fucking do anything with it? The title hasn't felt important since the first night that they introduced it. And I feel like, I mean, as much as people want to, discredit Becky or whatever, I mean, if you want to really make a belt feel important, you got to put it on somebody that sort of has that credibility. And I feel like that's going to be Becky Lynch.
You see, I kind of have to disagree here. I think that her beating Becky Lynch could actually really benefit her. And I think that could definitely solidify her as a superstar, as a great first Intercontinental Champion. I think that she hasn't really had enough time to prove that she could be a great IC champ. I think that it was definitely a missed opportunity not having her versus Bayley at WrestleMania, because I think that that would have added even more credibility to her run. But I've been a fan of Lyra Valkyria. It seems like the fans, she is starting to get very over with them. And it's very hard, especially being a prominent babyface, to really get that positive reaction. And it seems like she is getting that now every week with the crowd going, woo! Like with the wings and stuff. Like, I'm very invested in her. But who do we have winning this match?
I'm gonna say Lyra Valkyria, because I'm gonna be honest, like, this is her first big feud with the title with somebody that's a bigger star. And to have her lose that for the first big star that's going after your title would hurt her more than anything. Like, yeah, we'll build some credibility for a couple weeks, something we've seen a million times, but we're also falling into a trend that we're changing titles way too many fucking times all at once. And to do that right now is going to halt any kind of fucking momentum that she's built. And they put so much stock into her. I don't see her ending it right now. Like, I don't. It's way too soon. Because, like, how is she going to build credibility as a champion if she's going to lose the first fucking title match to a legend?
Who do you got, Danny?
I got Lyra.
I gotta go with Becky. You know, it just maybe I'm desensitized to the way like WWE tends to book things. You know what I mean? Because for so long it was like, you know, so cut and dry. Like, you know, somebody didn't do anything with the title. Well, guess what? We're gonna go over here, and that's one thing I don't feel like that's changed very much in WWE since Triple H took over. You know, it's pretty much the same formula. And, you know, I do feel like, could Becky Lynch win the title and then, you know, this feud continues and then Lyra beats her at like SummerSlam to retain it or whatever, and an even better match with a better story going into it. You know what I mean? So there are ways to have her lose, but have her come out on the other side as a bigger star. You know what I mean? So I got to go with Becky Lynch for this one.
You know why, guys? Danny knows how WWE books things. Because according to the Danny Axe, he likes to suck Triple H. All right, well, if I had to pick between Becky and Lyra Valkyria, I think that I got 1,000% agree with Ben here. I got to go with Valkyria because I do think her losing this match will hurt her more than benefit her. Yeah, they could always go back and then she could have a bigger match and win the title, but what is she going to do in the meantime? There's no answer to that question, which is why I think that Valkyria winning could be a good thing. And then we can get Bayley back on TV and have her feud with Becky. And I think that could be something interesting, and that can make Bayley more relevant. Because I feel like for the last couple of years since the whole Damage Control thing, she's been lost in the shuffle. And I think that Becky can finally give her that kick in the ass that she needs to really get over with the crowd. So that's why I think Valkyria is going to win, because I don't think Becky's going to be the one to beat her. Not yet, at least.
Mm-hmm.
But, all right. Well, moving on to our next match here on the card. We have a fatal four-way match for the WWE United States Championship. Jacob Fatu will be defending his title against Drew McIntyre versus LA Knight versus Damian Priest.
Dog, this fucking match is gonna be a banger. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care who fucking wins at this point, because every single superstar that's in this has been. I don't think Drew has been a U.S. champion. I know he's been IC, but they've all been mid-card champions. You know, half of them, half of them have been world champions. So it's like it's gonna be a banger, dude. Jacob's obviously going to retain. They're not going to fucking give it away immediately. I think that if the cards are fucking right, LA Knight will win the Money in the Bank. But it's going to be a banger match. That's all I have to say. Jacob Fatu is being built as a fucking powerhouse. He's going to turn babyface here really fucking soon, especially when Solo gets in the mix. And I see Solo turning on him at Backlash and starting that feud going towards SummerSlam. I have a fucking feeling, and then we're going to get Solo versus Jacob for the U.S. title, which Solo is going to lose. So I 100% think he's going to retain, and it's just going to be an all-around good match. We're going to get some high spots from everybody involved. Like, everybody in that match is going to have a moment where they're going to shine, but they're going to make Jacob Fatu look like a fucking monster, and I'm stoked for it.
All right. What about you, Danny? What's your thoughts on the Fatal 4-Way?
I kind of feel the same way as Ben. You know, Jacob Fatu, like, there's just something about that guy, like, that's incredibly special. You know what
It's
I mean?
so fucking good.
I've been saying it, you know, over the last couple of months. Like, give it 3 years, that dude's gonna be, you know, world heavyweight champion, main eventing one of the nights of WrestleMania. You know, it's a formality at this point. Like, we know, you know, his ceiling in WWE is very, very high. You know, because of the kind of entertainer he is.
Dude's gonna be a world
Not only
champion.
is he an ass kicker in the ring, the dude's got fucking more personality than most of the SmackDown locker room. So, you know, I'm looking forward to that. I do think
he loves everybody.
I feel like if Jacob Fatu ends up losing the title on Saturday, it's gonna be because of Solo Sikoa, and that's gonna drive him off the fucking edge.
And that's what I like about this Jacob Fatu title run, because with Solo Sikoa, like, being in his corner, anything can really happen. Because with the bloodline stuff, doesn't matter, like, that there is no bloodline right now. It's still all very unpredictable, and they do a really good job with that.
You know what's fucking great? If Jacob Fatu loses, the only person that it would make logical sense to win it would be LA Knight, to win it back, because it could further the feud with Damian and fucking Drew McIntyre, which is clearly not fucking over. LA's in the perfect position because he's the only one that has nothing to lose in this situation, where Jacob has an I hate you Solo still in the pocket for a receipt. And why would he say that unless it costed him a title he just fucking won? So it could happen in any direction. And that is the beauty of what's happening in this match, is you don't fucking know. But in reality, I'm still going to have to go more towards Jacob, and, you know, like, hopes that at the end of the match, or, you know, the Raw after, or SmackDown after Backlash, Solo finally turns.
And
here's one thing I do know. Triple H, he loves to play the long game, and I don't think Solo Sikoa is going to do anything yet to Jacob Fatu, because I think that they're going to wait a little bit more closer to SummerSlam. I think that they're going to want that to be one of their marquee matches. And I think that they're not going to have Solo fully attack Jacob Fatu without Tama and Tonga. I think both the Loa brother, like, they're both going to be attacking Jacob Fatu with Solo.
I don't
Solo's
think
going to need that insurance.
He'll find somebody, but it's not going to be the Tongas, because they're both injured for a while and they're not going to wait that fucking long.
No, actually, Cabacho is going to be back in July, they're saying.
Okay, but fucking Tama Tonga ain't fucking coming back until next year.
Wait, did he actually get? Wait, what happened with Tama?
Yeah, I guess something happened either on a live performance or live fucking show or something, but he's injured. He's out for a while indefinitely. Yeah,
I know on the I think it was the Go Home show on SmackDown for WrestleMania. LA Knight smashed his arm into, like, one of the car doors in the parking lot or whatever. But I assumed that was just to, you know, prevent him from, you know, getting involved.
Yeah, because I thought that they were kind of waiting for his brother to come back.
Okay, so Tama Tonga injury worse than expected. Bloodline future in jeopardy.
Yeah.
On the latest episode of WrestleVotes Radio, it's worse than anticipated. While no specific timeline was confirmed, it remains unclear the former WWE Tag Team Champion will miss the rest of 2025 indefinitely.
Okay, well, guess what? Rikishi and Yokozuna and friggin' Jamal, all those friggin' Ottawa people, they have like 100 kids. So they'll find a couple people to help.
Find one.
They'll find one. They'll find one. They'll have auditions. Solo Sikoa will have a new person with him then.
But as far as this whole Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa storyline, because that's
won't happen at Backlash.
This is
patience.
This match is sort of like a roadblock that's, you know, in the way of Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. That's the way I look at it. If you guys watched SmackDown this past week, Solo and Jacob were in the ring, and you know, Solo was sort of gassing Jacob up, being like, you know, nobody wanted to give him a chance. The only reason he's in this company is because of me. And, you know, you could tell in Jacob's eyes, like, he sort of took offense to that. And he was like, I told you that I was going to do this with you or without you. And then the whole reason that this Fatal 4-Way match is happening is because of Solo, because he opened his mouth in Nick Aldis's office, and Solo told Nick Aldis, "You're trying to screw Jake up." And as Nick Aldis was leaving, he's like, "No, Solo, you are."
Patience. That's one thing I know about Triple H. But who do we have winning this Fatal 4-Way?
Ultimately, Jacob Fatu. That's my final answer.
I gotta go with Jacob Fatu.
All right, well, here's the thing. Like, I know Jacob Fatu's going to win, but I am very behind here when it comes to this championship. And I don't want to give this to either one of you. So I'm just going to throw a fucking Hail Mary. And I think the person that's going to win this match, I'm just going to say Drew McIntyre. That's who I got.
Shut the fuck up. Next.
Ben's like, bitch.
Hey, I got to take a chance. But so Solo.
Yeah, where's that got you? Third place. Third place.
That's where
I'll
join the bloodline.
That's
Moving
what happened.
on to our next match we have here for the WWE Intercontinental Championship, Dirty Dom versus Penta.
See, this, I don't know. I feel like this is just going to be a really good lucha match. I don't see Dom losing immediately. Like, I really don't. I think this is going to build more tension between him and Finn. Like, I think it's just going to, like, add more cracks to the surface of what's going to have an absolute implosion. So, honestly, but who knows? Maybe that implosion could happen mid-match and Penta could take it, and that's what causes everything. So,
that's what I like, the unpredictability here.
Yeah.
This is 50-50.
See, this is where I'm like, dude, I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know, because, like, there hasn't really been a feud per se. Like, there really hasn't. There really like, there's been some, like, sprinkles of Penta's been chasing the IC title, but I could see Penta winning because he has been in a lot of IC title pictures and he's been, like, hell-bent on it. But at the same time, Dom got the fucking pop of a century when he won it, and people are finally putting respect on this kid's name. They're not going to fucking burn it out. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Dom winning either way. So, talk amongst yourselves.
All right. What about you, Danny? What's your thoughts on this?
Dominic, I don't know if you guys are in agreement with this, because you guys watch the show too, obviously. Dominic Mysterio, like, when he won the Intercontinental title, he got one of the biggest pops of WrestleMania weekend. Like, that kid is going places. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that he's IC champion, I hope he does something with it. I hope it's not just it's just on his shoulder every week or whatever. I hope he, legitimately makes the title something. But you also, on the other hand, you have Finn Balor, who is jealous, because he wanted the IC title. He wanted it before Dominic. And then because of Liv Morgan, Dominic got put in this whole title picture. And Dominic wanted Finn Balor to handle AJ Styles. And you heard what Balor said on Monday. Like, he was like, at first he was irritated by it, but then he acted like he was just joking and like, he'll take care of it. I feel like if Dominic, for whatever reason, loses, it's going to be because of Finn Balor, because of his jealousy. He's gonna attempt to help Dominic, and he's going to end up inadvertently costing him the title, and Penta's going to win it. And that is going to further along the story between Finn and Dom, because we already know Finn is going to be leaving Judgment Day.
Everybody in the live chat right now thinks that Danny's going to be the first champion. I disagree. But I will say this, when it comes to this match here, I do think that overall, I think that this is going to be a great match. I think that Penta, this is 50-50 because of the Finn Balor and the Dirty Dom thing. Definitely could go both ways, because with Finn Balor being jealous of Dirty Dom, like the whole Judgment Day thing, like you are starting to see that like Dirty Dom's taking that control, and Finn Balor doesn't like that. And that's what makes this 50-50 for me, because I did say, even before the WrestleMania predictions, Dirty Dom was going to win the Intercontinental Championship, be a transitional champ for a little while, because they wanted to give him that, like, him be submitted as an Intercontinental champ, and then it would go to Penta eventually. Now the question is, does it happen at Backlash, or do we go with Dirty Dom and Finn, and then Finn Balor takes the title from Dom later on? So that's like where I'm kind of like leaning very 50-50 here. But final answers, who do we have winning this?
Dom.
I got to go with Dom. And like I said, I do feel like this is going to lead to Dominic versus Finn Balor. But you also have to remember, like, you have one or two PLEs before we hit SummerSlam. And I feel like if you're going to do something of that magnitude, you're going to want to do it at one of the biggest shows, which is SummerSlam, you know? So, I mean, what do you do from here until then?
Here, okay, so with Dirty Dom and Penta, like, there's really both valid cases here. And, like, every champion I have on this predictions is retaining their belts. I think that they might throw a curveball here, and I think they are going to give it to Penta. I don't want Dirty Dom to lose the title. I really don't, because I've been a huge fan of him ever since he joined the Judgment Day, went on this full heel run. But I feel like him and Finn Balor, they don't need the Intercontinental Championship to submit that feud. And I think with Penta holding the Intercontinental title, we're going to be getting banger matches every week with him versus Sheamus, him versus Pete Dunne, him versus Kaiser. I think that there's just more opportunities there to make the Intercontinental title prestigious. And I just think that Penta, I think that Penta, I think, is going to steal it. But I could see Judgment Day helping Dom win, too. But moving on now to our next match we have here on the card. We have the Ring General, Gunther, versus Pat McAfee.
It's going to be a banger. It's been teased, too. I mean, Pat on the mic is ridiculous, but, after losing the World Heavyweight title, I think it's going to be a bloodbath. I see actual color being shown. I think we're going to see a very different side of Gunther, because this is his first time on the main roster where he's not behind a title. Like, he's got nothing to lose now, and as we saw with Jimmy Uso and how well received that went down, what's next for him? He's got to have some kind of new thing going on. Like, we need to see some crazy shit, and I think this is where it starts, because it's just Pat McAfee. Like, realistically, it's just Pat McAfee. So we're gonna see some pretty crazy shit for Pat, because I know he wants to like wrestle here and there. Where's this Backlash taking place? St. Louis.
St. Louis.
Okay, so like, I'm not sure entirely why they decided to go this direction, but I'm not mad at it, because I know Pat can deliver a great match and he has really good moments. But I don't know. I think that there's something that more than meets the eye when it comes to Gunther here. Like, I think that we're like in for a surprise, because there would be no reason for this match to happen if there wasn't more under the surface. Like, this doesn't seem. You think this is where Goldberg comes in?
Goldberg.
Really? Goldberg's his final Gunther's Goldberg's final opponent, his retirement match.
I think so. Yep. They teased it a little bit when they were in Atlanta.
Bad blood.
Yeah.
And I think that if there's anybody that's gonna give Goldberg a perfect final match,
Goldberg's an ex-football player.
Okay, I see it. And then at SummerSlam, it's gonna be Gunther versus Goldberg. Okay, I see that. Okay,
maybe.
All right.
Or Money in the Bank, or another PLE.
So that basically just solidifies that Pat McAfee's winning this with the help of Goldberg.
Maybe. But then again, it could happen after the match, which is why this is very unpredictable.
Here's how I think it's going to play out. I don't think this match is going to go longer than 7 minutes, realistically. It's going to be, I feel like this is the one match on the show that definitely needs color. We need to have Gunther absolutely annihilate fucking Pat McAfee. It's going to be a way to write him off TV for a while, because he's going to be doing that College Game Day stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
And when he finally does come back, I feel like he's not going to be alone, and that's when we see Goldberg. I don't think Goldberg's going to show up on Saturday. I think it's going to be like a drawn out process because I don't think they're going to have the match. It's either going to happen in Saudi Arabia, that way Goldberg gets that big Saudi Arabia check, or it's going to be at SummerSlam.
I thought he also said he wanted to retire in Atlanta. Didn't he say that? Like for his final match?
But they don't have any big shows coming through Atlanta that I know of. They don't have
That's
any
true.
PLEs
Goldberg,
scheduled for
anyways,
Atlanta.
is one of those guys that you just tell him, here, you're getting this much money, do this. He's going to do it.
He's going to want to do it wherever he's going to make the most money. It's going to be his last time, you know what, whether that's Saudi Arabia, whether that's MetLife Stadium for SummerSlam, that's when we see it.
I agree.
But Gunther is going to absolutely annihilate Pat McAfee Saturday. Like, you guys are not going to know what you're going to be witnessing. And I can promise you that.
I can't wait to see what's going to happen here because I've actually been very interested in this. And I was like really questioning, like, what are they going to do with Gunther after he loses to Jay? And I think that this is the best direction for his character because Pat McAfee, Michael Cole, they continue to poke at him. And especially during the whole main event, Jay, they're both doing the whole eating thing instead of being true professionals. Gunther, he runs business like it's professional. So he doesn't like that. And I love the way that they've done this entire storyline, which is why I'm very excited about the Pat McAfee versus Gunther match. Even though we all know it's going to be a squash, Gunther is going to friggin' come for blood. Can't wait to see that. But I don't know, maybe Goldberg does show up because there's not really anything that's really crazy big happening on this show except for Cena and Orton.
Yeah.
So, like, we do need a surprise in there. And I think Goldberg could possibly be that person, or they could wait. I don't know. But who do we have winning this match between Gunther and Pat McAfee?
Gunther.
Oh, it's gonna be Gunther 100%. And I don't see Goldberg. I mean, if he shows up, cool, but I don't see it happening.
Who you got, Donnie?
You know, it's gonna definitely write him off TV for a while.
This is one that I can't bullshit. I can't throw a Hail Mary because they're gonna stop the match because Gunther is going to. Pat McAfee's not gonna be able to breathe. Like, he's not gonna be moving. Like, there's no way of me like coming up with some scenario in my mind that could say Pat McAfee's gonna survive this and walk away with the win. Not happening. Gunther lost to Jay. There's no way they're gonna have him lose again and again. And I do think that Gunther is gonna squash him. And then Goldberg might show up afterwards. Who knows? But moving on to our main event match for the WWE Undisputed Championship. John Cena versus Randy Orton one last time.
It's just weird seeing a heel Cena and a fucking face Orton for the last time, which is honestly kind of great because it's like one of those things that would never happen. Literally would never happen.
Parallel universe.
Because we are. This build has, regardless of how short it has been nothing less than spectacular. It has been like I feel like exactly. I'm gonna take a page out of Danny's book. Like he said earlier, I feel like I'm 16 again. Like I never thought we'd be in 2025 and getting Randy Orton versus John Cena for the fucking WWE Undisputed fucking title, which is a fucking pipe dream that was just randomly granted upon us, and it's so great. Obviously we know, especially as adults now that, kayfabe's a thing. This is just, fan service. If we're going to look at it in the bigger picture, this is fucking fan service, and it's in Randy Orton's hometown. So he's a hometown here. He's going to get a massive fucking pop. And John Cena is a heel, and where I haven't liked his whatever the fuck garbage he's been doing, but it's still cool to have him back and get that match because Randy Orton's not going to allow a half-assed match. He's not going to allow that. So this is for John Cena's real first match back in the squared circle, going at the capacity he's going to need for Randy Orton. Unless they pull some dumb creative bullshit, which I could, as of late, I could see happening. But I don't see that happening for the scope of where it is, what it is, and why it is. I'm excited to see SmackDown on Friday to see that final, thing before we go on Saturday for Backlash.
Hopefully,
All I'll
no
say is it's a
Travis
fun.
Scott.
It's just all I'll say, man, is it's been a fun thing. It's been a fun thing, a wild ride. I could possibly see Cody Rhodes coming back. I could
Somebody
see
did
Cody
say
Rhodes.
that.
I could see Cody Rhodes coming back, and either if he's not in the middle of the match, it's going to happen directly after the match because none of that's going to end up fair. It might end up with Cody Rhodes versus Travis Scott at SummerSlam, which is probably going to fucking be stupid, but I have a feeling that he's going to come back. What's going on, Dan? But yeah, it's going to be a banger. But what are you guys' thoughts?
I'm looking forward to the match. I think it's going to be better than the Cena and Cody match at Mania. That match was fucking like such a disaster.
What a shit show.
Definitely a shit show. The one complaint I have about this match is the fact that it's way too predictable. Like they just had Cena win the title. There's no way they're taking the title off of Cena in his first defense. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I feel like that's like the one downfall of this entire thing.
Ruining the prestige of the We Are Wrestling.
It's gonna be nostalgic as fuck, and I'm looking forward to seeing these two square up again. And all the other times they feuded, it was Cena as a babyface, Orton as the heel, and now the roles are reversed. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they work together.
Yeah, that's the thing about this John Cena versus Randy Orton match. I think that the build-up has been a lot better than the Cody and Cena match. I do think a lot of people, the reason why we think that main event between Cody and Cena was bad is because of the booking decision that happened at Elimination Chamber. I think they should have had John Cena and Cody Rhodes built up as this dream match. Cena should have been working in that ring as a babyface, not a heel, because that's the reason why the match absolutely sucked. Because John Cena was working like an old school heel from the 1970s, where you do little tiny moves and it's nothing exciting. And John Cena has been working pretty much his whole career almost as a babyface. So like having him work his first like match as a heel and like over like 20 plus years, it was a disaster. And I really hope that this time around with Randy Orton, it's not that way. Cena's definitely got to kind of pick up the speed a little bit. Like you can't work like it's 1970. It's 2025. There's ways to work fast as a heel. And that's what John Cena's got to learn. I will say one bold prediction I do have here, because we already know the outcome, what's going to happen. John Cena's going to retain his championship. But I do think that they are going to go back in time and they're going to do the role reverse here, because I remember one of the pay-per-views, Randy versus Cena, and Randy Orton hit John Cena with the championship, or no, he hit the referee or something. And the referee disqualified him, and Randy retained the title. So I think what they're going to do here, John Cena knows that Randy's out wrestling him. So John Cena's going to pull the same bullshit. And he's going to like push to the referee or something. Referee's going to go to ring the bell, some bullshit DQ. We're all going to get pissed off when we see the winner is Randy Orton, but still champion, John Cena. That whole arena is going to fall for it. Then Nick Aldis or somebody's going to come out and say, that's not how we do things. Restart the match. Crowd's going to go fucking wild. And then we're going to be getting some crazy spots, freaking with the title, with the chair, whatever. And John Cena will find a way out.
Yep.
But I do think that we're going to get some type of bullshit call. And then they're going to restart the match.
Definitely a possibility. And Dan Edwards, I do want to address real quick. He says, I think the WrestleMania main event would have sucked, though, with two baby faces going at it. I feel like it would have been better if you would have had them go into the matches, two babyface versus babyface, and then Cena turn heel that night, do something dastardly to get the upper hand on Cody and having him win the title that way. You could have avoided all the fucking Brock bullshit. You know what I mean? It would have been so much better.
But imagine like you had this build up as like a dream match, and then like John Cena cannot beat Cody Rhodes. He's doing everything in his power to, but he can't do it. So then he takes the title when the ref's out and hits Cody or hits him with the low blow. Imagine that WrestleMania reaction. That whole arena would have sunk. The Rock ruined John Cena's like heel turn. But who do we have winning this one?
Cena.
Mr. John Cena.
Yep, John Cena is definitely going to retain. So, guys, that is it for our WWE Backlash predictions. And the only possible scenario here that could happen between Ben and Danny, because right now in our scoreboard, Danny is up 1 on Ben. I believe you guys, the only difference you guys had in your predictions, I believe it was the, what match was it? Becky versus Valkyria, right?
I think so, yeah, because I had Becky winning.
Yep, and then Ben had Ryra. So if it's a tie, I don't know what we're going to do. So we're going to let you guys down in the comment section below decide what we do there, because we never even thought about that scenario. Hopefully one of my Hail Marys pays off so I can get back in the game. But anything else, guys, before we close off this last episode of the podcast, before we go into our off season?
No, man, that'd be all.
It was a good show today, and don't forget, just because we're gonna be taking a break on here, we're still gonna be Ben's gonna be active on Twitch all the time. Donnie's doing his toy stuff on Best One Donnie. I'll be
Just
doing
opened up a
live
store.
reactions. Yeah, I'll be doing live reactions to pro wrestling on my channel, Danny Huckins PW. Links are in the description, so make sure you guys subscribe and follow us, because we're gonna be still making content.
Yep.
Absolutely. And also with the off season and stuff as well, just to remind the people that weren't here in the beginning of the live stream, when it comes to the off season, there is still going to be some content being uploaded to the channel. We do have some matches in the archive that we sponsored from Blitzkrieg. If there's big news, we already talked about it. Myself, Ben, or Danny, one of us three, we'll probably do a YouTube short on the We Are Wrestling channel talking about the news, like what our thoughts are on it. But it'll only be something big. Off season's more kickback content. The We Are Wrestling podcast will be on hold for the next 3 weeks. We will be coming back first Wednesday of June, which is on Wednesday, June 4th, season 2 of We Are Wrestling podcast. And we'll continue with the content there. But we will be doing a live watch along for WWE Backlash this Saturday. And if you guys want to hang out, highly recommend doing that. But guys, hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the We Are Wrestling podcast. If you did, smash that like button now. Let us know in the comment section below your predictions for Backlash this Saturday. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac, you already recommend you guys to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications. Best way to stay up to date with all the brand new content going on. You can go follow us over on social media. We Are Wrestling. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and X. We have daily wrestling news. We have video clips from interviews and other cool things on all the social media pages. We're still going to be active on there. Also, if you guys are listening to this, wherever you get your podcast, give us a 5-star review, not just any review, a Best One review, and download the episode. But the link's down in the description box below. You can go follow Ben, Danny, and myself over on our social media pages and other adventures. Ben is over on Twitch. He has a new merch store. Danny, he also is doing live pro wrestling watch-alongs over on his channel and other reaction videos. And then myself, I'm doing toy videos. But hope to see you guys Saturday for WWE Backlash watch along. But to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide, we are out of time. We're taking over. Peace.